everybody. Whoop.
I miss you. I love you.
Welcome to the Manufactured Home Show, everybody. It is Friday, May the 6th, 2011, the Happy Mother's Day show here on the Manufactured Home Show Live. Of course, I won't be webcasting live on Sunday, so we got to do the Mother's Day show today. So welcome, everybody. Here's to all the moms out there. Good morning. Feel free to call in for the live show, that is. If you're watching this recorded, don't bother. Live show, the number is on the screen. If you want to go ahead and call in, do it. And we can talk about your mom. Anything you want, but today's the Mother's Day show, and so I thought I'd get things kicked off by first saying that I'm sorry because I cannot recover from my sickness, so I still sound bad. Please forgive me. Before we get into the show, let's go ahead and plug manufacturedhomemart.com, the premier online store for manufactured housing. Now, of course, you'll notice this video will certainly appear on the home page. What I do is I take the most recent webcast and I put it on the top right video screen, so everybody gets the freshest and newest webcast from the Manufactured Home Show. And then the one below it is the previous one. So you get the two most recent Manufactured Home Shows live. And of course, the rest of the website, as everybody knows, on manufacturedhomemart.com, that is for everybody. It's for manufactured home professionals. It's for private sellers. It's for private buyers. It's for investors. It's for everybody that has some kind of interest in manufactured housing, but particularly buying and selling and renting, and of course the promotion of the businesses and communities and so on and so forth that do business in the manufactured housing industry, and particularly on manufacturedhomemart.com, which is a growing, and by great leaps and bounds, by the way, growing business. And please join us. We also, while I'm on that topic, let me once again welcome StarTex Homes of Texas to the family of manufacturedhomemart.com. They joined yesterday. We gave them lots of plugs, and once again, thanks to StarTex, a great retailer in the state of Texas. Check them out. StarTexHomesOfTexas.com. See, I got that memorized already. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Let me say quickly to my mom, I love you. Hi, Mom. I love you. And she may be short in stature, but she is long in wisdom and kindness. My mom, definitely. I love you, Mom. All seriousness. And of course, Grandma, I love you and I miss you. And you're everything. Yesterday, I started to get emotional. I'm not going to do that today, but I love you, Grandma. You gave me everything. Thank you so much. Obviously, once again, call in if you want to say something nice about your mom. Go ahead. I'm giving you the free opportunity to do so right now on the Manufactured Home Show Live, or if there's something else on your mind, feel free. Phone number is right there. Now, quickly, you know what? I have to read from the Daily Word again, and I'm going to do it fast because it was really good again today, so I love to share this stuff with you guys. Again, the topic today is enthusiasm, and the headline is, I live life with enthusiasm, positivity, and hope. Great message, whether you're a Christian or not. This is a great message. Okay, I begin this day filled with the Spirit of God. My positive energy and enthusiasm are contagious. My mind and heart are open to living life fully. I experience life differently when my attitude is positive and hopeful. Where I previously saw obstacles, I now see opportunities. I check in with myself midday to refocus my energy and to assure I am living from an awareness of the divine. If I have allowed outer conditions to distract me or pull me off course, I adjust my attitude and outlook. As I end this day, I once again check in with myself and notice I have much to be thankful for. I live my life with enthusiasm, recognizing and appreciating the Spirit of God that enlivens me. Good stuff again today from the Daily Word. Good stuff. Scripture reading is also good. Do not lag in zeal. Be ardent in spirit. Serve the Lord. That's from Romans 12:11. Of course, the Apostle Paul, very zealous guy, and he loves to preach to us about zeal. And I think a great message. And this is definitely going to tie into the theme as we go through the show today. because they're talking about new attacks. As we go to the headlines, we know that Al-Qaeda is planning attacks against us. And on CNN.com, okay, here we go. Let's get into it. Reading from CNN.com this morning, saber-rattling Al-Qaeda warning against the United States emerged on Friday as the killing of Osama bin Laden continued to yield a trove of ominous intelligence, including details about a possible attack on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. So, you know, there's a lot going on, and first of all, thank God, and I hope that we did stop any attacks that could have happened on the 4th of July, they said, the 9/11 anniversary. Thank God. And I hope we can prevent a lot more. And you know, we've got to get, these guys are now going to, they're going to talk a lot of smack, basically. So everybody should just calm down. But let me get over to MSNBC. Now get this. Get this now. Al-Qaeda aspired to attack us, and here's some specific stuff. This is from NBC, and I'm going to play the clip and continue to talk a little bit about this terrorist stuff, because of course bin Laden is the big news. So take a listen.
Well, Meredith, good morning to you. That's right. In his first statement confirming the death of Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda is basically trying to reinvigorate its jihad, again threatening Americans and, quote, its agents inside and outside their country and soon. It's an attempt by an organization after the death of a leader to say that they will carry on. Also, we're understanding from Al-Qaeda that a voice recording of bin Laden made a week before his death will be released soon. And all this is coming as new intelligence gathered from inside the compound is emerging.
Okay, I'm going to let it go for a minute.
This morning, new video emerged, shot by Pakistani's intelligence services inside Osama bin Laden's compound. This as U.S. officials release initial details of what special forces found there on laptops, papers, and cell phones. No references to specific plots. But they say it appears Al-Qaeda operatives had weighed options, including as far back as February 2010, about whether they should try to attack trains in the U.S. on the 9/11 anniversary, as Al-Qaeda has in the past in Britain, Spain, and India.
Yeah.
Embarrassed and angry about the way the U.S. took down Osama bin Laden, on Thursday, the most powerful man in Pakistan, Army Chief Ashfaq Kiani, called Sunday's raid a misadventure, bluntly warning in a statement that any similar action violating the sovereignty of Pakistan would jeopardize a level of military intelligence cooperation with the United States.
Okay, that's a good spot to interject. Look, Mr. Pakistan, speaking for myself only, not for anybody else, I would say that your statement blows. Certainly, Pakistan officials knew that Osama bin Laden was right under their nose. So we don't really want to hear this BS about your sovereignty, because you are harboring the biggest terrorist that there is. This gets me angry, in case you haven't noticed. I don't feel well. But anyway, listen, everybody can have their own opinion on this, so I'm not going to blast on and on. Other than the fact that, you know, Pakistan, I'm speaking for myself again, I don't trust you. And if I'm reading the president right, certainly he's only going to trust you about this far. And you know, as for your sovereignty, you know, don't harbor terrorists. Maybe we'll be open to have friendly relations with you. Okay? The United States doesn't need Pakistan to fight terrorists. We don't. Okay. Now, good video. That was actually from the Today Show and NBC, and I actually got all that off of MSNBC. But what I was going to say real quickly too is, and this is just a message to everyone, and this is my feeling, okay? Because I keep seeing these blurbs on the news, and some people are saying that Osama bin Laden did win, or the terrorists have won. We have the Patriot Act now. People live in fear. Well, again, just speaking for myself, but I will venture to say that there's a whole lot of Americans out there that feel the same way that I do. I don't live in fear. There's not one day, not even since 9/11, that I wake up in the morning or even in the course of the day, or when I lay my head down at night, do I think, man, I'm scared that I might get attacked by some terrorists, or my community might? Not scared at all. So, I don't know, in case a terrorist or Al Qaeda or anybody else watches this webcast, you're more than welcome because it's public. Let me say to you, terrorist, Mr. Terrorist, I'm not afraid and never been afraid. I was born in 1969. I'm still alive here in 2011. And when I die, I still won't be afraid of terrorists because I'm not. And the United States is the greatest country in the world. That's my opinion as well. And we're not going to stand for this nonsense. So whatever Osama's juniors want to come up and take his place, you know, more than likely you're going to get a bullet put in your head too. Now, we can all make our debates about how Christian of a thought this is, but you know what? This is the world that we live in, and war is part of it. Until people can rise to another level of understanding like Jesus had, we're always going to have this going on. Now, the United States, we're just not going to take threats. I would encourage every single person that is listening to me to not live in fear. I know it's easier said in different parts of the country. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Not a high-level target probably for terrorism, okay? Living in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, maybe, you know, places like this where, you know, terrorists, it appeals to them to target these big places. Maybe you do have some fear. But by and large, I think if you look at the people and if you talk to the people, by and large, we're not living in fear, nor will we ever live in fear. And I think that, you know, while we need to control the amount of money that we spend militarily, I'm all for hunting terrorists down or anybody else who is going to threaten our sovereignty and our peace, because the United States really needs to be more for peace. We don't need to be blowing everybody up. But certainly we're not going to take threats like this rising down and this nonsense from Pakistan either. At least I hope not. Okay. So there's good articles everywhere. CNN, blah, 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 blah. Quickly, I was going to mention something about the jobs because it was on the USA Today. But basically, it's a trade-off. It says that the 244,000 jobs were added, but then later it says from a different survey, Americans employed they lost 190,000 jobs. So what does that mean? We actually gained maybe 54,000. Who really knows? All I know is the economy is still not doing that great. So aside from the #1 most popular thing on USA Today right now is Pippa Middleton's photos. I wish they would have showed them. So anybody who's a fan of Pippa needs to go find these racy photos and send them to me. Just kidding. To the local news, very fast, I'm just going to touch on this. What I noticed from this morning's local news on azcentral.com is a guy named Jetman is going to fly over the Grand Canyon. Earlier they had a picture of this guy, and it was like a jetpack. He looked kind of like Boba Fett. And he's going to launch over. And then it said he's not going to do it. Let's see what it says now. Now it says he has approval. Jetman has always says he's blah 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 blah. That's too long. Well, I don't know if he's really doing it or not, but anybody who was up there at the Grand Canyon, I'm sure that's going to be quite a sight to see a guy with a jetpack. I hope he doesn't crash. Good luck, Jetman. News is on azcentral.com if anybody's interested. I'm losing interest and I need to move on with my show. Okay. I think we're pretty far along, too. Nobody's on the chat. It's hard to read that time. We're at 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Real quickly, we're doing the Mother's Day show. Everybody's free to call in. The number's on the screen. And then, what was I going to tell you? Oh, I'm going to quickly interject our sponsor, ManufacturedHomeMart.com. Premier online store for manufactured housing. ManufacturedHomeMart.com. Lastly, as we get into the manufactured home portion of today, not much to say, other than I'm very excited, obviously, about our new direction And I think that we're really poised to make a good move. So all you professionals out there and also you consumers, tell your buddies and your family, tell your mom. ManufacturedHomemart.com is on the map. And this show is just part of it. Join our social media too, by the way. I think it's really fun to interact with folks that way. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, of course, the Great Manufactured Home Show. But here we're going to draw from MHMSM.com, where I gather a lot of news from these guys. I think they do a nice job, and they have all kinds of different stuff. This time I just zip to the headlines. That's what I like to do a lot of. And we'll get the most current things that are happening, and then we'll go on to the next day. But out of MHMSM, I'm reading this article here. It's very interesting. Nigerian company offering modular and prefabricated housing. It says PR Web reports from Africa that ZY Properties of Lagos, Nigeria has responded to the country's housing shortage by offering manufactured and modular homes and cabins that can be built and assembled quickly. Noting that Nigeria is a developing country that's trying to catch up to Western and Asian economies, the report suggests serious investors should be looking at factory-built housing and as an option to fill the housing needs of cities throughout Nigeria. The shortage of housing leads to higher rents, and the company is appealing to government ministers, individuals, and corporations to help ease that burden. What an interesting article. And it got me to thinking a little bit, and I actually posted a response. This is what I wrote on there. I said, could there be, yeah, it's cool. MHMSM, I should say, is cool because you can sort of put in your commentary, just like on a lot of the publications, you could sort of put in your comments. So I put, could there be any possibility of actually exporting from the United States? Or is that too much money in freight charges? Certainly is a long way from the West Coast. Anybody? I'm looking for anybody to enlighten me. What about exporting homes to other parts of the world? This is something that I thought about for a second, but then I dismissed it really quickly because I think that the freight charges to get a house to anywhere else other than domestically. Hola, don't disturb this great webcast, okay? What was I saying? Oh, I think the exporting is just too much money. I think that in terms of freight charges, like trying to ship them across the ocean or whatever, or maybe even into Mexico, I don't know. I don't think it's cost effective. If anybody's got any great ideas about that or can enlighten me, I'd love to know. I think there's probably a reason why there's not a lot of exporting of manufactured or modular homes. It occurs to me that possibly there could be some boutique outfits out there that do this. And I would love to know of them, so please contact me. I'm getting ready to wrap up the show right now, so I'm going to go. Friday show is over. I got to go. I got lots of work to do. My wife is leaving. Thanks for joining me, everybody. The Manufactured Home Show brought to you by ManufacturedHomemart.com, premier online store for manufactured housing. We'll see you Monday. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Peace. Goodbye.